Multiplying fractions are pretty straightforward. All we have to do is multiply straight across the top, the numerators, and straight across the denominators. Let's look at this fraction here. Multiply to 2/3. 1/5 times 2/3. So when multiplying fractions, all we have to do is multiply the numerators. That would be 1 times 2. And the denominators would make 5 times 3. That would give us 2. 5 times 3 is 15. Last thing we can do is look at the answer and see if we can reduce. We know that we can reduce if we see that the numerator and the denominator have common factors. 2 and 15 do not have common factors, so this is the final answer. Let's try another one. 4/10 times 2/5. Just like we did before, multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. 4 times 2 is the numerator, and then 10 times 5 is the denominator. 4 times 2 is 8. 10 times 5 is 50. Now we ask ourselves, can we reduce this fraction? Well, seeing that 8 and 50 are both even numbers, that automatically tells us that we can divide by 2. Let's think of a bigger number we can divide by. Maybe another even number, like 4. 50 is not divisible by 4, so let's stick with 2 and divide the numerator and the denominator by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 4 and 25 do not have factors in common, so this is the final answer. Now let's work on dividing fractions. Dividing fractions is a little bit more complicated. Not too complicated though, as long as you follow the steps. So some of you may have heard of the Kcf Rule. A lot of people say KFC Rule, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, but it's actually KCF. So it stands for keep, change, and flip. And this is the order in which you're going to use to divide fractions. So let's say we have 1/3 divided by 1/4. Using the Kcf rule, we're going to keep the first fraction the same. First fraction stays the same. Then we change our division sign to a multiplication sign. Lastly, we flip the last fraction from 1/4 to 4/1. Now let's rewrite this whole expression. It'd be 1/3 now times 4/1. And just like we learned with multiplying fractions, we multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. 4 times 1 and 3 times 1. That gives us 4/3. And 4 and 3 do not have common factors, so that's our final answer. Okay, let's do another one. 2/5 divided by 5/10. So using the keep, change, flip rule, we will keep 2/5 the same. We will change division to multiplication and flip 5/10 to 10/5. Rewrite this as 2/5 times 10/5. Multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. 2 times 10 is 20. Then 5 times 5 is 25. Last question would be, do we have common factors for the numerator and denominator? Well, I think we have a factor of 5 that are common between 20 and 25. 4 times 5 is 20, and 5 times 5 is 25. So 20 divided by 5 is 4, and then 25 divided by 5 is 5. And that's our final answer because 4 and 5 do not have common factors. And there you go. That's how you multiply and divide fractions. You may practice multiplying and dividing fractions when you click next in the Algebras Top 7 mini course.